well, they stayed in Western Europe as they hoped that Stalin would be pushed back from Ukraine. That obviously did not happen, and so they came to America, where they were lucky enough to have a place where they could exercise their political freedom and enjoy economic opportunity. And I'm here today because I am very frustrated for my family in Ukraine that they don't enjoy the same political freedom and economic opportunity that I'm lucky enough to enjoy here in the United States. And as you guys probably know, today is the 200th birthday of the poet Taras Shevchenko, who really captured the spirit of Ukrainians' resistance to the serfdom that they were subjected to under the Russian Empire. And Shevchenko said famously, when will Ukraine, this was in the 19th century, when will Ukraine have our George Washington to free Ukrainians from the yoke of the Russian Empire? And Ukraine has, against all odds, managed to create its own country, to make incredible progress in terms of economic development, in terms of finding a nationhood. And it is incredibly inspiring, and I'm humbled by the bravery and sheer will of the Ukrainian people. And I think it's really important for us to think about, why does this matter to the United States? Ukraine is important geopolitically, a country of over 45 million people, and you know, was an exporter of a lot of important commodities like wheat and other commodities. But really, the main reason that this is important to the United States, and that we should, those of us who are residents of the United States, put pressure on our government to continue to support Ukraine, is that anytime we let a dictator, a bunch of corrupt oligarchs, get away with breaking international law, we embolden oligarchs and dictators around the world. And so I think I'm really grateful to the United States government for what they've done so far, but we need to continue to put diplomatic pressure, economic pressure, and provide military support to Ukraine. And I want to just thank you all for coming out here today, and this really does make a difference. We get media attention, and it's on people's minds. Our congresspeople, our senators understand that that there are people in the United States that care, and you guys are I'm humbled by you all as well. So thank you so much for coming out. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you, Melania. We would like to invite Katerina from Crimea. And please, those who would like to get on the list for speaking, find me here next to the stage, and I will put your name on the list.
Hello all, fellow Ukrainians and everybody else that came here today. I'm really grateful personally. My name is Katerina. I am from Crimea, Ukraine. And as you have heard, home has turned into a pre-war zone. There are lots of Russian soldiers armed in the streets, and it is really terrifying, and my family is there, and they're really Ukrainian. Я донька України. I am a daughter of Ukraine, will always be. I just wanted to tell you, we don't want a war. No one wants a war. Russian media has been brainwashing us. They've been working really hard at it. But you know what? We know what's really going on. We have been listening to the truth. And a lot of us have maintained our sanity. We don't want a war. In fact, Russian troops that are in our town also don't want a war. Putin is the only one who wants a war. Please help us stop him. We want a peaceful home. We want to come home to a peaceful Ukraine. I want to go home to Crimea, Ukraine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so so much. Right now we would like to invite Yulia Kosevchuk and Rostik Bychko, who will sing Dola. And after that, Maria Iskiv.
Слава Україні! Наша друга Біблія, Кобзар. Вітаю всіх з днем народження Тараса Григоровича. Зараз не дуже нам хочеться святкувати, тому що дуже тяжко на душі. Ну, але герої не вмирають, так? І вірші їхні не вмирають. Живуть і будуть жити ще 200 років, а ще більше. Друзі, у нас один мікрофон. Це можна до гітари. Я буду це співати. Ми хочемо вам подарувати пісню, вона зовсім свіжа, ми можемо збиватися, не звертайте на це уваги. Головне, що автор її Тарас Шевченко, музика наша. Ви не чуєте? 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 Ти не лукавила зо мною, ти другом, братом і сестрою сіромі стала, ти взяла мене маленького за руку і в школу хлопця одвела, до п'яного дяка в науку. Молися, серденько, колись з нас будуть люди, ти казала, я послухався, учився і вивчився, а ти збрехала, а ти збрехала. Які з нас люди, та дарма. Ми не лукавили з тобою, ми просто йшли, у нас нема зерна неправди за собою. Ходімо ж, доленько моя, мій друж вбогий, не лукавий, ходімо дальше, дальше слава, а слава заповідь моя. Лиш ти збрехала, а ти збрехала. Дякую. З днем народження Шевченка вас, друзі. Слава Україні!
And dear fellow Ukrainians, Russians, Americans, you who are coming here, you know what's going on in Ukraine, and one thing that you can do, we can do, not the government, but we can do, is talk to people, spread the word, tell the world that Ukrainians don't want a war. We want to have our land, we want to have our peace, but we are not some people who are, I don't know, xenophobic and nationalistic in a bad sense, people who are, I don't know, hanging Russians or whatever Russian propaganda is talking about. We are Ukrainians. We like to sing songs. We like to be peaceful. We like to cook good food, and we like to have a good time. Please tell it to other people so they know that Ukrainians is not just somebody from the TV and internet that's having a war, but also just nice people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pani Maria Iskiv.
Thank you all for coming and here listening to us. As you can see, Putin has putting himself in every single chance he gets. This man will stop at nothing. The sanctions do not scare him one iota. His intent is to get into Ukraine, take it over, and then keep going further. He wants to build an empire for himself. So while he's putting himself in, any chance he gets, we all need to work as hard as we can, even harder, to put this man out of office. Thank you. I'm thinking you can all hear me. I was born in Ukraine. I love my country. When I was born, it was in the middle of the war. The Germans came in and they took us out. My parents suffered from the communists through several years. They're both passed away now and in a better place, but life was hard for them. When we were in Germany, the communists came in and they said to my parents, "Oh, everything is forgiven. Come back. We'll love to see you." Sure, then they would end up in Siberia to their death. So this is the tactics of what these people use and are using every day. And I want you to realize what a threat this is to each one of us here and your children and your grandchildren. If this man succeeds, it could lead to a world war and eventually nuclear war. And remember what Ukraine did in 1994 and even before that after Chernobyl. The Ukrainians gave up their nuclear stuff. And now maybe that was a mistake we can see because they have nothing to defend themselves with. So at that time, 3 countries, Russia, America, and Great Britain, all guaranteed sovereignty to Ukraine, that they would defend them in times like this. And right now, the problem is that all we're doing is sanctions. That does nothing to Putin. He just keeps on with his action. It doesn't threaten him. And I just heard this morning. I hope I'm relaying it correctly. If it's wrong, somebody else can come up and correct it. But our Ukrainians are listening to the news on the Ukrainian stations, and the latest thing they discovered was that Don Cossacks are coming into Crimea, and they are killing and pillaging people. So guess what? I don't know if Putin instigated them, but he will say, oh, the Cossacks are Ukrainians, so look, they're killing themselves. So if this is true, you can see the tactics that are going. And now, regarding this referendum that's coming up, guess what? Most likely Putin will put in his people, and they will vote in favor of him. So everything that happens like this has a possibility of being rigged by this man, Putin, who keeps putting himself in. So I would like to inform you of a couple of things that you can all do. First of all, there was a fascinating program on the radio this morning on KCBS. It's going to be repeated tonight at 8:30 at channel 740 station AM. That's KCBS at 8:30 tonight. Charlie Rose was narrating it, and he had some good speakers, so I'd like you all to listen to that. Also at 9:30 on the same station, KCBS 740, also another program, and there former Vice President Cheney was speaking, and he said the time for military intervention is now. It should have been done sooner, but this is the time to do it. And he stressed that it's not necessarily troops on the ground. There are other military actions that should be taken. So I would like to invite you, those of you who have possibility, to write down some phone numbers so you can call our people in government and get them involved. The first one is Harry Reid, the majority leader for the Democrats. His number is 202-224-3542. I'm going to repeat that. Harry Reid, 202-224-3542. And then the one for the Republicans, John Boehner, 202-225-0600. Again, 202